Watch, Learn, and Win Master the HOSA Bowl event. So this is arguably the most fun competition in SLC. I say arguably because I don't think so. I disagree with that because I feel that it should be medical innovation. It's because my heart is racing every time there's this event and I can't take it. Right? That's the reason. That's a true reason behind it. But this is really a fun event, and I'm really very glad to have. This is kind of like a group presentation for us. With me is Mrs. McPeak. She is actually the competitive events lieutenant for team event, and she is in charge of HOSA Bowl. Right? She was with me when we ran this in ILC last June. We have also Mrs. Easton, who was our judge. She will serve as judge also today, and they have been running actually this event for a longest time already. And of course, we have Mrs. Mangani, who will be serving as our moderator. The moderator is the one who will be reading the questions. So it's going to be exciting. And of course, we have two teams here. We have two teams from OA HOSA. We have the green team. No, all right, that's the red team. Okay. All right, where's the green team? All right, and then the green team says that if they win, I'll have my fingers colored black. So you better win. Yeah. So we'll see how it goes. All right, let's move on. So what is HOSA Bowl? For those of you who are new, this is kind of like a trivia competition, right? It's a trivia competition. And then if you want to know more about HOSA Bowl, you go to the HOSA website, you go under the competitive events guidelines, and then you will find the guidelines. There you will see the dress code that's needed, references, general rules, round 1 instructions, and round 2 instructions. Okay? And move forward, please. These are the topics that will be needed. Okay? 60% will be health related. Okay? Everything that we learn in the classroom. And then 20% will be HOSA related. So you have to be familiar with HOSA. Then we have parliamentary procedure, 10%, and healthcare topics, healthcare issues. It will be 10%. Okay? And to participate, you don't need superhero powers, but you already have that. So it's exactly 4 members. So there are 3 divisions. We have the post-secondary division, we have the secondary division, and this year we are starting the middle school division. Going to be fun, right? So this is a summary of HOSA Bowl in Cal-HOSA. I know it's hard to kind of like remember this, but I will make this slide available when you get a chance to look back at our YouTube broadcast. So you will see that, and then I will also link this slide so you will have that chance to look back at how the process goes. But let's move forward. So let's look at the RCE round. Yes, the RCE round is Regional Competitive Event. So what is Regional Competitive Event? It's an online proctored test. You take it to your school. It's from February 6th to 10. Let's move on. So the proctored online testing, as I mentioned, is between February 6th to 10. All 4 participants must test within 1 hour from each other. Obviously, it's proctored, so there's no cheating, right? And if you are successful in this, the results will be posted in the website on February 14th. You will know if you qualify to SLC, because this is the elimination round. Okay? So let's move on to the SLC round 1. There you go. So SLC round 1 is proctored online test, March 6th to 10. So that's the testing window. Let's look at what's in there. So it's almost the same, except the date, March 6th to 10. And then all 4 participants must test within 1 hour. And then basically the results of this will be posted for March 15th. March 15th is before SLC, right? Now,
Go back.
let's go to the buzzer round. Okay, for the buzzer rounds at SLC, you can move. So if you qualify for the round 1 in SLC, then they will post the results, and then you're coming into SLC, you will now know that you qualified for round 2 or the buzzer round, and then basically you will be seeded depending on how many participants are participating. So the highest tester will be seeded against the lowest tester in the ranking. It's a group that all your tests will be grouped together. So, and then that will be kind of like the seeding until the championship. Okay? Questions? You're good so far? Let's move on. So this is how the HOSA Bowl setup looks like. So we have the judge, there is a buzzer, person in charge of the buzzer, there's the moderator who's going to read. There will be a timer and or tabulator, which is my role, and then we have the groups of participants per team. Now, the audience, you will not be able to watch this until the semifinals or finals? Semifinal round. This is one of the few events that you get to watch on that, heartbreaking moment. All right. Ask me if I ever watched. No. They just tell me because my heart is ready to explode. All right. So HOSA Bowl buzzer rounds. Each round is 10 minutes or 50 questions. Contestants have 5 seconds to buzz in the answer. Can they buzz ahead? Yes, but the question will not be continued if they buzz ahead. Okay? The first 8 minutes is head-to-head match. A versus A. B versus B. C versus C. D versus D. And then if the 8 minutes is not finished, go back to A versus A. B versus B. And so on until the first 8 minutes is finished. Then, the last 2 minutes is going to be a free round. Anybody can buzz in. Okay? So that will be a free round. And sometimes we have tie at the end of that. Then we'll also have a tie-breaking round. Okay? So now, let's have the HOSA Bowl Finals round demo. So here are your event management team. I already introduced them to you. So we're all positioned. And here are our red team and green team. In the real HOSA Bowl, you will not know which letter will you be assigned. As you enter, they will just give you the card where you will be assigned. And so you'll know who you're going to match with. Right? So anyway, you have to prepare. Not only one person needs to prepare. Everybody needs to work hard. It's a teamwork event so that your team will win. Okay? So for this event, please pass at the back. We have the green team, Adriel, Andy, Adeline, and Erna. Did I say it wrong? The green. I thought you're a green team, not the red team. So, okay. And then the red team is Cindy, Dylan, Chris, and Dia. Okay? Did we switch it?
Yes.
Okay. All right then. Go and let's assume our seats.
So you know that everyone.
All right. So we have a switch of the green team and the red team. All right.
That's so weird.
Try it real quick. Try it.
Huh?
See, no light.
So stand. All the seats are first.
Usually this faces them, but because I want you to see.
Oh, they didn't.
They got Nike.
Oh, God. Can you guys all see this?
Yes.
All right. So we're just going to do a quick buzzer test. That's how we usually start our HOSA Bowl. So we're going to start with our green team. Can I have team member A test their buzzer? Great. B, C, and D. Thank Thank you. All right. Red team A, red team B, C, and D. Great. All right.
Do we have the lights for A?
Two of them are not working now.
Okay. Okay. So that's for this, just because our buzzer doesn't work,
Yeah.
we'll have.
They know what to do.
Okay.
All right.
Better win.
Team members, have you read the HOSA Bowl competitive events guidelines? Yes or no, green team?
Yes.
Red team, yes or no? Great, thank you. All right. Green team, do you understand the instructions for today?
Yes.
Thank you. Red team, do you understand the instructions for today?
Yes.
Thank you. And buzzer, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, before we start, the audience should be quiet. Okay? There you go.
No yelling out answers
yelling
or
out
anything.
answers.
And no laughing.
Okay. Here we are. Question 1A, so this will be for our letter A participants. What is the term for inflammation of the oral mucosa?
Stomatitis.
Correct. B. How many gavel taps will the presiding officer do to call the meeting to order?
One.
Incorrect. How many gavel taps will the presiding officer do to call the meeting?
Keep going.
Let me start over. How many gavel taps will the presiding officer do to call the meeting to order?
2.
Correct. C. What movement is the opposite of flexion? Extension. Correct. D. Where will the 2023 Cal-HOSA? Correct. Great. Second round A. When operating a fire extinguisher, the word pass can help a person remember the correct steps. What does the first S stand for?
Squeeze. Oh.
It has to go to.
Squeeze. Correct. B. What is the term for the study of all living organisms?
Biology,
First answers. Whatever.
Correct.
We accept the first answer, by the way.
C. A dental specialist?
Orthodontist.
Correct.
And wild guesses.
D. What term describes the position? Incorrect. What term describes the position when the patient is lying on the abdomen face down?
Prone.
Correct. All right. So that would be the end of our 8-minute round.
So yes, that's 8 minutes is finished, so we'll move on to the
2-minute open.
2-minute open round.
Great. All right, so anyone may buzz if they know the answer. 1. What fat-soluble vitamin? Incorrect. What fat-soluble?
Vitamin D.
Correct. 2. What is the medical term for excessive sensitivity?
Photophobia.
Correct.
Yes, indeed.
3. Who is currently Cal-HOSA's? Incorrect. Who is currently Cal-HOSA's secretary? Correct. 4. What is HOSA's theme for 2022? Beyond the limits? Correct. 5. When will the upcoming Cal-HOSA Cal-HOSA State Leadership Conference be held? When will the upcoming Cal-HOSA State Leadership Conference be held?
March.
Incorrect. And that's our final round.
That's the answer question. All right.
One time is 5 seconds for them to buzz in and answer.
Sorry. Can you
5
say-
seconds
5 seconds for them to
buzz in,
and
5
5
seconds to
answer.
answer. Now,
So they can't wait until the 5 seconds.
there's strategies.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That's the end of our question. All right. So we have time.
Just paint it, just paint it.
The other person, yeah, 5.
Just paint it, just paint it.
He wanted us to lose. So no, he wanted us to lose. Yeah, he did give us a question too. He didn't think
One hand.
He didn't think we would get here. Every other nail.
All right. So there's a little fun here. I didn't anticipate that we will have a tie. So we are going to make one tiebreaker question.
Chris, you got him. Put your hand on the buzzer.
Normally you get 5. We'll try 1.
Put your hand on the buzzer.
All right, are we ready? Tiebreaker question. The pandemic was caused by which virus? Red A.
SARS COVID-19?
Correct.
All right. So thank you. Thank you.
No. Oh no.
All right, thank you. That's HOSA, right? So what we did is we shortened the 8-minute round for obvious reasons, and then we had the open round, which is supposed to be 2 minutes, and we shortened it also. And then we should have a tie-breaking question, which is about 5 questions of tie-breaking, and sometimes tie-breaking, even with tiebreaker, there's still a tie. So this is when they look back at your test and base it on your test. And then whoever has the highest test will win that round and move on to the next round. Okay? So, yeah, go ahead, Miss. Go ahead.
So you notice that some of them buzzed in before the question was even finished. They anticipated what the question was. So when they hear a key word, sometimes you can just buzz in and get the answer right. So a lot of it was wild guessing, some of it may have been knowledge. I don't know if they knew the questions ahead in this case, but just so you know, there's strategy. Letting the clock run out to 4 seconds. They can see the seconds on here. Run out if you're winning and the other team is not. So, okay, that is.
So, any questions? Any questions for Hosabo? Any questions? Yes.
Is it just based off like knowledge off the top of your head, or are you given like a study?
We have a list of possible references. We have references, and we also have how much percentage is just like what I gave you before, and that's it. So you can expect that can you go back to the seating round? There you go. So this round, the very first competition, the questions are going to be easy, right? As you move up, it's going to be tougher. And some questions I cannot even answer, right? So, and then we don't get to, for this particular demo, I kind of like prepare the questions, right? But this one comes from HOSA International, and then they basically it's a secret, right? That is only given to the competitive events team, and we don't see it. As advisors, we don't see it. Yeah. So, yeah, and if you're the ones running the event, you're bound by secrecy, basically, that you're supposed to follow that. And yeah. And sometimes there will be questions that both teams didn't get it right. You will not know what the answer for that question.
Or you think an answer is correct, and if the judge doesn't challenge the answer, you can't challenge it. The judge has to challenge it.
The judge.
They have all the power.
Yes. Any more questions? They're very good questions, right? Okay.
Oh, challenge would be like if they thought their answer was correct, and then they used to be able to challenge, but no more. The judge is the only one that can say time, and they're going to discuss it. There's usually more than one judge, so they can challenge it that way. The judges challenge it, though.
And usually in the answering key that is provided, they will have several answers to a question. For example,
Well, for instance, she said SARS COVID-19. If it could have been COVID-19 on the paper also.
Yeah.
Either one would have been correct. That's
So
one.
whatever is stated there in the paper as our answer, that's the answer. Right. So, any more questions? Are you going to try this event?
Do it.
You
do
have
it,
to
do
form
it.
a team.
It's fun.
That team should be exactly four participants, right? This is going to be, all right. Any comment, anything you can add?
I can't think of anything. I think you covered it.
Yeah.
Well, why don't you describe your
Okay, can you describe your experience and why did you choose this? All right.
For FLC in general, or like last year?
Why did you choose it? And
Why did you choose HOSA?
yes, why did you choose HOSA Bowl and why are you so into it? They are a team from last year.
So even from last year's FLC, some of our team members were inspired by previous HOSA Bowl teams, so that's why we decided to become a HOSA Bowl team. So it would be really cool if you guys feel inspired by us too. So that's why it really interested us, and because of the competitiveness of it, like you are going against another team, you're climbing up the ranks, and you're trying to find who's the best. So like everyone has that competitive spirit in them. So I guess that's what brings us to this event.
Yeah, pretty much same thing that Adriel said. Like the competitiveness, and also like this is a very team event. And I was speaking with Mr. Klenka like earlier this week, and we were talking about how like the weakest link is how good your entire team is. So you throughout the months that you're studying each other, how your strengths, your weaknesses, what topics you're good at. So it's just like very collaborative in comparison. I mean, not in comparison to those very collaborative events in HOSA, but it's collaborative and competitive, and you get to study your team.
And also, like, along with, like, the competitiveness, I feel like for me, the biggest part was, like, since you study so much, there's kind of, like, this end goal where, in the end, you kind of learn so much about so many different topics, and it's so interesting, because in a way, you can feel, like for me, self-absorbed, because it's, like, whoa, I know so much about, like, medical stuff, and medical treatment, like, I feel like I can do so much better, and I feel like that's just another, like, really good, like, outcome of having, like, months of studying of, like, different topics, and maybe it's not just, like, medical, it's also, like, parliamentary procedures, which is also, like, something that you don't think you'll use in the future, but, like, I feel like it's something that is also very beneficial.
Yeah, so last year I was actually not on the HOSA Bowl team. I was doing public service announcement for my SLC event, and so just seeing the three of them have fun and practice in the hotel rooms and really build that team chemistry as well as get that competitive spirit going and doing what they're passionate about really was inspirational, and I hope that you all had fun watching the event.
And if you actually see them during break, they're actually practicing in the back, both teams, because they want. So let's now ask questions on the team, this is their first year, and I challenged them, and they said yes. And then they even challenged me that if they win, I'll color my nails, but I'm saved by that. So go ahead. What's your experience preparing, basically?
You tied.
You time. Yeah.
So for all of us, this is our first HOSA Bowl competing experience. And even though it's just a demo, I loved how hard everyone was working to study and contribute. And it was really fun working as a team, not only collaboratively, but I got to see everyone be competitive, and we all studied together to work towards a common goal. So it was really fun, and I really enjoyed this event, and you should all try it too.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that statement, and I have no further comments. Thank you, Dia.
So it's just fun to see them really on that competitive end. To see them actually tied at the very end. That's really good, right?
You should take a poll to see if people think you should still paint your nails.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
She's really argumentative, and I said we should join biomedical debate instead, right?
I mean, we could have a raise of hands.
No.
She still wants him to paint his nails.
Okay. All right. Any more questions?
Get it done.
Yes. The primary role of the judge is to determine what is the correct answer based on the answer sheet that they have. So for example, in cases where sometimes you don't say the full word, because let's say it's or the sequence of words or answers, so that's the judge has to be that final person. And whatever the judge says, even though your heart sometimes feel that it may not be, you follow the judge. And most of the time, it's kind of clear cut because everything is in.
For example, in this competition just now, some were very close, but they didn't complete the answer, so therefore it's incorrect. So you know they're on the right track. That's what's hard. You know they're on the right track. You know that they're getting there, but they didn't complete it. Or if it's mispronounced, to where it's not exactly what it is, that would be an incorrect. Even though we know that they know what they're talking about and that they're getting the right answer, but it's still incorrect because it has to be exactly right. Very specific.
Yeah, I was just going to make a comment. Another reason to do the bowl during HOSA is because the majority of the health profession programs, their student organizations, when they have their annual meetings, they have a quiz bowl as well, whether it's PA or medical or pharmacy or what have you. So if you got that experience from HOSA, then you more likely will make the team once you get into health profession.
Thank you. All right. So any more questions? We have 1 minute left. So our next, if you look at our program in our tables, thank you very much, by the way. Thank you. Thank you. Our next agenda is basically we'll have lunch, and then we will watch the closing ceremony. Okay? So I hope you enjoyed our final workshop, all our 4 workshops.